Hello, my name is Demetria Hodges. I'm the owner and the artist of Danni Doodles. I am a caricature event artist as well as a freelance artist. I have lived in Mesquite with my family for about 4 years and have spent a lot of time at the Mesquite Arts Center. I do a lot of markets and events where I do caricatures. I like to draw people. So today I will be showing you how I personally do my caricature style with Erica as my model.
Hey Danny, thanks for inviting me to come out and model for you. For those that don't know me, my name is Erica Guajardo and I'm the assistant manager here at the Mesquite Arts Center. So while we do this today, I might be asking you a couple of questions. Are you cool with that?
Yep.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
So what are we going to be doing first?
So I am just going to be drawing you as I see you, but you will be in the form of a cartoonish caricature. So my caricatures are a little bit different from the caricatures that you see at fairs, or if you search up the word caricature on Google. Mine are a little bit softer. They're not as harsh. So you see these drawings of people with huge buck teeth and big noses and stuff like that. I like to incorporate that into my art, but in a more cartoonish kind of style where it's not as abrupt when you look at it. So something you want to have. I mean, people like to have these, the silly ones, because they're fun. They're fun to look at. So these are good for parties when you have kids, you ever have a wedding, something like that, where you want it to be a little nicer, not as silly like you would get at a fair or a theme park.
Okay, how did you get into this?
So I started doing this whenever I was watching people doing it at these events when I was younger. I was about probably 12 or 13. I was watching people draw and I was like, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. I like to draw. I want to try that. So I sat down for a couple of days in front of my computer and I decided to try and teach myself how to do it. And eventually I found a way that I liked to draw, and I just kept doing it over and over again, and I found my niche.
Do you consider that your particular style?
No, this is not my normal style. This is definitely very specific for the events that I do. My normal style is more of a Western cartoon mixed with Eastern style, so anime, stuff like that, which does come through in my caricatures.
Did you go to school for art?
I mostly taught myself. I went to SMU for about 2 years, but then I dropped out because it wasn't quite working for me. So it was mostly just a combination of teaching myself, going to SMU for 2 years to find out some of the basics that I had missed, and then starting my own business. And then I'm just still learning, but yeah, pretty much just myself.
So since you own your own business, where can people see your artwork?
So you can find me on my website. It's www.dannidoodles.com. You can find my contact information, my gallery, and my hiring service through Thumbtack.
So what type of materials do you use while doing caricatures?
So I use Copic markers, which are a Japanese made marker. They're refillable, which I like because I go through a lot of ink. And for the background color, I use regular Crayola markers, just because they're accessible and they're usually very vibrant. And then for my paper, I just get these Bristol boards. They're the smooth type, and I get them from Michael's.
So how long does it typically take you to draw an image?
So usually I have to be pretty speedy because there are a lot of people at an event that want their drawing done very quickly. So anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how detailed I want to be and how many people there are. So for you right now, I'm going a little slower because I can take my time. But usually if it's an event with like 50 to 100 people, I have to go really fast. And I'm not able to take as much time in my art as I usually would.
Do you portray a person's personality through the image that you create for them?
I try to capture that, but it can be hard when you're on a time crunch. Sometimes I like to add props or poses depending on what the event is. Recently, I did a job where the theme was carnival, so I would put like balloons and kind of different like popcorn, carnival foods in the background, or they're eating it. So it just really depends on the scene and how I'm feeling that day.
So when you're at a carnival and you're selling these, what's a typical price range that someone may encounter?
So I don't typically sell these by the image or by the guest. I'm usually a by hour person, but I have sold them in the past, and you know that people at fairs will usually sell them for like $25, $50 a piece because they're very detailed. If I'm ever in that situation, I typically go for about $15 for a single portrait, and then if there's more people, I'll add like an extra $5 per person.
Okay. If I'm a company and I'm looking to hire you, how would I get a hold of you?
So you can contact me through my website. I have a contact form there. You can also find me on Thumbtack, which is a hiring service. It's under Danni Doodles, and they can help you get to me through there.
I noticed that you just switched pens. What type of pen are you using?
So I'm using another Copic marker, but this one is a gray marker because I like to shade to add some depth to the drawing. This is also refillable, which I like a lot, but it just kind of blurs in with the black and makes the image have more depth. So I go through the shadows and the blacks of the clothing, and I fill that in with this color. So like I said earlier, these are usually really popular with kids' birthday parties, but I've also seen a lot of adults get a kick out of it. I did a wedding recently. It was a lot of fun. A lot of the older guests of the event wanted a caricature really badly. So it's not just for kids, as some people have told me before. They said that their thought was that this was more of a childish thing, but a lot of adults really like this type of style of art and event at their parties and things like that. I've also done office parties, which has been a lot of fun.
So is it more of a team building exercise that you feel happens when you are invited to offices?
Yeah, I think so. I've done a lot of holiday parties at offices, which are really interesting and really fun. You get to see a side of offices that you don't usually see on the outside. But a lot of people, a lot of fun, a lot of food. So I have to ask you a question. This is something I ask every person I draw. What is your favorite color?
You're going to hate me because it's a non-color. I love black.
Uh-oh. So other than black.
But I like fuchsia.
Alrighty. Fuchsia. Alright. Fuchsia. So like this color?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. So I use this color for the background because my drawings are typically just black and white because it saves time and it saves ink. But I use a color that the guest picks for the background, so it gives it kind of a pop.
Yeah.
And so before I show these to people, I usually tell them, so you were about to see a drawing of you in a cartoon universe. So some things are exaggerated, and hopefully you will enjoy it. So let's get this off of the clipboard here. And here you go. Ta-da!
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. I hope you enjoyed watching and learned something new today. I hope it was a lot of fun, and like I said earlier, you can find me at DanniDoodles.com. You can also find me through my Thumbtack hiring service under the name Danni Doodles. If you have an event and you need a caricature artist, something that would be fun and casual for either kids or adults, you know where to find me. Just shoot me an email and I will get back to you as soon as possible.